JC, what do you mean? How do we set up automatic, take certain risk, and stop loss, take profit? Oh, that's not hard. Alright, you just go to new order. Alright, buy, new order, go to market, and then stop and take profit. This is for the 3 minute, for the rocket scalper. Right, if you're a 3 minute rocket scalper, that's what you're doing here. But like while we're trending like this, I mean the scalper can work fine, but I prefer to use the scalper when we're in more of a sideways market, like over here. Like this is nice sideways. We're kind of trending now, so I'm going to stick to the 1 minute strategy. You won't. No, JC, you don't have to calculate each time for the rocket scalper strategy. Not really. Right, I can come over here and check the ATR on the 3 minute. It's going to be pretty consistent, right? I know now it's going to be like between 12 and 9 for the most part, like all day, between 12 and 9. So like I can just do like a rough estimate, right? So I'll just set it at like 10. So I'll use like a $30 stop loss and a $60 take profit. It doesn't have to be exact because the ATR is going to fluctuate as you're trading anyways. Hell, it can spike up and down while you're already in a trade. So it just needs to be close. So if I'm trading the Rocket Scalper Plus on the 3 minute. I'm just today just because it's hovering right around the 10 area. Like I can set this to like 200 bars, right? And it's gonna give me 12.1, so I can even do it that way and just say, okay, fine, I'm gonna set it to 12, and I'll go 36 for the stop loss and 68 for the take profit. Seems kind of wide though, in my opinion. You can do 2 times, you can do 4 times. It's really up to you. But I prefer to do 3 and 6. I feel like you get better results. If you're using the Rocket Scalper Plus, you can just use the Binance chart. Oh yeah, I might just server mute everybody right now. I can just say that nobody can talk. I'm gonna do that. I'm probably ruining Lolliot's life right now because he can't talk now. It's just so that the recording doesn't get messed up. Once it's done, I'll just restart the stream or turn it off, and we'll just go back to normal. Wait, what did On do? I think I have everybody muted. Oh, I didn't hear it anyways. Yeah, I'm on voice. We're streaming, man. And recording, so I can go over the strategies. Guys, make sure you check out the Google Doc. Because I'm going to take these trades alive with this little account. Look, I'm going to trade more size than I wrote down in the sheet, but I don't really care. It doesn't really affect me much. I'm not going to use Binance charts for this. Right, for the 1 minute here, I can't use Binance because of the rubber banding. Right, instead of printing like one signal here and one signal here, it'll print like 4 or 5. Right, I can't use Binance because the rubber banding on the wicks. But like on the 3 minute I will. But you see what I mean by rubber banding on the wicks, right? If I pull out the 1 minute, let's see all these wicks here, up and down. They'll completely fuck with the strategy for the 1 minute chart. But for 3 minute, it's fine. And look, if price is really dead, guys, for the Scalper Plus, you can just go to the 5. It's not a big deal. I mean, we're trending right now, so I'm not a fan of using it. That's why we're going to use this. Maybe, look, this is just, it's a default trading view indicator, right? It's just their basic pivot script. That's all it is. The only reason that this works is because the fees on Prime are so cheap, right? Let me show you real quick. Right, see? Like, decent gains, right? Oh, hang on, it's fucked up. I don't know why. Here we go. Right. Let's see, I even calculated a little more fees just to account for some slippage. But what you're paying on Prime is 0.05%. And that's paying like the way that TradingView's backtesting calculates it, you have to double the commissions. So you need to have the 50% off in order to make this work. But if I put it to 7.5, right, for Bitno, it destroys the gains. The commissions are make or break because it's taking so many trades, alright? And this is just fixed sizing. I should put this to 1500. Just so you can see, like, the odds are, like, you'll encounter, I mean, this is, on 1500, this would be, you know, a third of your balance gone, basically. It says 14% max drawdown, obviously because it, you know, had gained money previously. But the 50% off with the 600 Bitcoin volume on Prime is the only way that this strategy works. Otherwise, it's a complete bust. You're just going to destroy your account all the time. If you're paying too much in fees, you're going to get destroyed. Right, so it's just, you know, this is a default TradingView strategy, right? Didn't make this at all. All I did is tweak it to 5 and 3. That's all I did. I did nothing else. And then you're just going fixed contract size. And guys, look, one contract on TradingView is the same thing as 1.00 contracts on Prime. Alright? It's just a 1 Bitcoin value trade. It's still riding this long right now, but it'll flip soon. You'll see. I mean, look, the win rate, 36%. Don't expect to make tons of money right away. It takes some time. You can see it loses quite a few trades, actually. I would say that it, like trading it feels more like wash trading until you get the bigger trends, right? Like you had a 295 win here. That was last night. That was a big win. And then again, 262 a few hours before that yesterday. So it makes, like, you can hit, like, look, this is like 11 losers in a row. It's insane. But it happens, right? This is a trend-catching, trend-following strategy. So you're entering on every shift of trend. Basically, every time it breaks bar highs, it essentially enters a long or it enters a short. And then if the trade runs, you make a lot of money, and if it doesn't run, you're going to get stopped out. I don't know, Monkey. Let's find out. I mean, I'm sure you can make it work. Like, what do you mean, like 2 hours? I'm sure it works fine, but you have to pay funding. Otherwise, I mean, it's going to work fine. Like, 1, you have to pay funding, and 2, you have to make sure you're actually able to enter in these candles, right? Like, if we dump this candle on a 2 hour, you're going to need to make sure you can enter that. Same thing here. You have to make sure you're actually able to get in halfway through these pumps. Look, which you can because you're on Prime, right? You don't have to worry about overload. So if you want to manually click this, that's fine on larger trends. Like, it should work on every time frame just because the fees are so cheap. The fees are what make this work, guys. I can't stress that enough. And at first I was like, oh, you know, let's see how it actually works in practice. So, I mean, I've taken 672 trades, I think, is what I checked right for. I've taken 672 trades with it in the last, like, 9 or 10 days. And it does work. It works as promised or as described. You know, my gains and losses per trade are largely in line with what the strategy indicates. Yeah, Bitcoin's about to hit that take profit. See 74.08 right now. But yeah, I mean, higher time frames are going to work. It's just another trend catching strategy. That's all this is. You know, so you'll win like a third of the trades, and you'll get destroyed on the rest of them. I mean, it's going to be profitable overall. It's just, if you want to trade it that way, you can. It's just, it doesn't feel like, I don't know, if I'm trading higher time frames, I don't want to win only 30% of my trades, you know? I want to win more than 30% of my trades. Especially because this strategy doesn't have a stop loss, anything like that. So if you end up using a stop loss, you're probably going to fuck the strategy up. So you need, like, probably a fuck ton of capital, and then you have to trade small size. So it's just, I just don't see the appeal. Like, gains-wise, like, yeah, it looks fine. Trading flat contracts. But, like, I'd rather just scalp the 1 minute with it. Right? Because, so what I've been doing, I've been going with 4 contracts with about $5,500 in it. Yeah, that looks about right. And it's done pretty well. It had some drawdown here, which sucked, but it's done well. Like, I mean, there are instances where we dump or we pump so fast that, like, I can't get a proper market execution. But thankfully, Prime and Binance have a rubber banding effect, right? So if price dumps through and it flashes, like right here, you can wait because Binance is going to come back up. So Prime comes back up, and then you enter on the rubber band effect instead. And then it goes back. I mean, obviously, this was a shit short right at the bottom. You know, I didn't take this because I wasn't trading the strategy at the time. We were actually getting long down here. Right? But don't try to outsmart it. Don't manually intervene. As you can see, the strategy makes its money on basically big winners every now and then. Otherwise, it's pretty much wash trading. If you close too early or you manually intervene on a big winner, it's going to completely fuck your equity curve, so don't do that. If you're going to trade this, click the buttons. Don't worry about the drawdown. Just keep clicking. It works, but you need to have a lot of discipline. You can even do like a training exercise for your brain, right? How to pick a strategy and stick to it and not fucking panic or stop if it doesn't start working or something like that. I was like, this is the price action you want to see if you're going to use the scalp. You don't want to see trending action like this trend, because it's just going to tell you to short over and over again, and you're going to get destroyed. So if we're trending, or if we're forming a trend, you need to not hit these. Right? Like you don't want to hit these longs all the way down. You don't want to hit these shorts the whole way up. Like you want nice, stable, sideways price action. Like here we're channeling. Right? This is when you use the scalper. Right? This is when you use the RS Plus on the 3 minute. These are great trades. Seriously great trades. Yeah, Monkey, it's impossible. I tried. I even tried limit orders, but it's impossible to get filled on them. And if you don't get filled on one big winner, you're fucked. And if you try to manually execute it on BitMEX, again, slippage and overloads. There's absolutely no way to bot this. I don't know how to do it. I've tried. I don't know what else I can do. I've even tried Bybit, and it doesn't work. Again, because their fees are too expensive. So there's really no way to get around it. Like, if we start channeling here, this would be a good short. And we could probably take this. I mean, I don't really want to because we're still in a grinding uptrend. But if this was sideways, this is how you'd set it up. Because I know the ATR is about 10 or 11 right now, so I'm going to go $30 for the stop loss, and 60 for the take profit, and I would just enter here at market, and I would just, let it go wherever it wants to go. Now, if, let's say you take, I'm trying to find a good example. I guess this way. So let's say you come down here and you take this long. Right? It doesn't hit take profit, but you get a short print. If this happens, you just close the long when you flip to the short. Alright, don't keep the long open. If it goes like almost all the way to the take profit, but doesn't, and then you get a short print, exit the long and get short. Because then you can just start running it signal to signal. If the range starts getting too tight, it'll just run signal to signal on. We'll probably get a short print pretty soon here. Just because, look, it's a pivot strategy, so what it's doing is it's looking 5 bars to the left, and it's requiring 2 bars to the right. So you need to have 2 bars break, basically this low. So it'll fire a short if we get under here, I think. Alright, 2 bars on. It'll fire a short if this breaks, I think. And basically when I hear the beep, I just hop over and I just hit market. I just hit the big button. But I'm going to do this for a few hours so you can see it. I can't guarantee it's going to be profitable, but we'll find out. And we'll go over boons today too. Yeah, Bitcoin rejecting that 236 over and over again. Retest of the 236. I think that would put it at like, looks like 0.5. No, it's 618705 pocket. Yeah, it's fitting for it to come off now. Well, because we're trending up, JC. We aren't in a sideways market. Look, trending versus sideways isn't rocket science to figure. Right, look, trending. Sideways. If you need help, use the 200 EM. See, nice sideways market. Trending market. So I don't like taking scalper prints that aren't with the trend. So like if we come down and get a long on the 3 minute, I'll take it, but I won't take shorts in this. I know that like a couple of them may have worked out, but I'm only going to be taking longs when we're riding this trend. It's just too easy for it to flag and then go up. And didn't break the pivot. Why is the audio cutting out over and over again? Like this will be a pretty good long, depending on where it ends up flipping short. You know, if it gets short at like 73.85, it'll be a decent long. How's it going, man? Oh, why can't you talk too? You gotta get off voice. What the fuck? I've muted everybody. What the fuck? Like, I've definitely muted everybody. Well, I'm recording this, so everybody has to be off. But welcome. When I'm done recording this thing, we'll come on proper voice and I'll shut the stream down. I just want to at least take a few trades with this, so that people can sort of watch. Pretty good, PM. We're covering a 1 minute trend grabbing strategy and also the 3 minute rocket scalper. Well, the rocket scalper plus, I should say. Should fire a short. Yeah, PM. Just using the default pivot indicator. Look next. We were in a Bitcoin long, but close it. We're long from down here, 72.80s. What do you mean they all aren't? Monkey. No, not the scalper plus isn't, but this is. Anything on the 1 minute is a G-Gen strategy. Like, you have to be a complete degenerate to trade the 1 minute on Bitcoin these days. And like I said, it only works if you have 50% off fees. So if you don't have 50% off fees, don't even waste your time because you're just going to lose money. There's no way to be profitable if you're not getting 50% off on Prime. So you can like trade some Forex or something just to get your 600 Bitcoin for the month, and then you're good to go. From there, it's really easy to do 600, right? Because if you got 1,500 bucks, you're doing one lot per trade, and you know this is 500 trades in since November 25th. You know you're already doing 490 trades, so you'll hit 600 no problem if you have just like a $1,500 account. Yeah, I think it would work. wonky. I'm not sure, just because again, like there's a lot of wicks on the euro you have to worry about. Yeah. Oh, it's because the commissions are set. So I'd have to delete commissions to get an accurate representation. And even then, see, it's still like it's a loss technically, just because there's too much up and down. Like good buy signal, and then it makes you sell the bottom. You sell the bottom and buy the top a little bit too much. I mean, it works partially though. I feel like you would just get destroyed during like Asian hours, right? So like Asian market hours, like here, you can see this is, 2200 UTC. You can't trade this. You have to trade during U.S. market hours. Like that Europe to New York overlap. It would work fine, just because you get lots of news releases. Like look here, right from 11 a.m. UTC. It's like 7 a.m. Eastern. So this would have worked fine if you woke up to trade, at 6, 7 Eastern, and you stopped at like 11:30 or noon every day. It would work fine. But you can see now, like London's already closed, so we're just getting, low volatility stuff on the euro. So I wouldn't use it here. But like you could do it on like the dollar yen during the Asian Open, right? If you want to do it like, right here, I guess. Like this would be fine. Do it in here because you get some nice news events that pop it up and down. But otherwise, like it's just gonna be channeling too tight. You'll just get destroyed. Like this. This is just nasty. This makes no sense. PM, I think every single I like the New Zealand dollar against the yen and the Aussie dollar against the yen. If you do it like on the 1 hour or I guess the 55 minute with the scalper plus, you do really well. I think I know someone pointed that out to me on the New Zealand yen, on the Kiwi yen. Someone pointed out that it's really good on the 1 hour. Yeah, it's exactly right, Theo. You have to stay up late as fuck, man. You want me to check out Aussie? We can check it out. It's still a nasty bear flag, man. It's still a big bear flag. I've got to stay bearish on this. Right? We've been bearish on this. Look at that. See, you can draw diagonals anywhere if you look hard enough. Right? If one diagonal doesn't work, just draw another one. Yeah, I mean, look, this is like the 0.5. No, that had to wick the 618. Yeah, 618 was wicked, and then down it goes. It's gonna break this flat. Like, this will definitely just dive. Are there any daily targets? Ooh. Ooh, hello void. Man, there's nothing stopping this once it starts. Once this thing starts going, it's done. This is just gonna keep going. It's just gonna do this over and over. Literally just short every bounce. It's ridiculous. I'm actually short from this level on boons. I'm probably gonna get fucked on it. Come on. I know it wants to print a short. But you see what I mean? It's too easy for this to flag and then go up again. I don't like taking scalper when we're trending. It's just too dangerous. I mean, yeah, you might catch a reversal, but your odds of catching the reversal are like 1 in 10. So if you're trying to fade a trend with the scalper, you can get fucked. It's better to play it with trend or wait for a sideways market. But wait a second, guys. I think my desktop audio is off, so I can technically listen to you guys talk. This is not necessary. Let me unmute everybody. I just realized that. I forgot my desktop audio is off. Like, it'll record my microphone input, but it won't record anything coming through my speakers. Let me unmute everybody. Okay, should be good to go. You guys can talk. I forgot it won't make a difference. No, Mookie, you don't need to beat yourself, man. I forgot. I fucked up. My logic skills were just not there on this one. See? Don't take scalper prints against trend. It's dangerous. But I'm currently flat, guys. I don't have any positions open. No, it's fine. I mean, it's very close to the take profit target. I mean, it's really close. Alright, 74.30. That's where you get out. But otherwise, I mean, it's in substantial profits, so it's no harm done by just letting it run and seeing if you can get a bigger move. I mean, on significant trades, all I see is tons of little buys coming in, so somebody's pushing this up. So you might as well let it happen. But see, guys, how I thought this was going to break down and give us a short signal soon? Right? This is why you don't manually intervene. Because if I would have been like, oh shit, I want to lock in profits, I would have closed the long, and then it would have kept going without me. This is why you just don't manually intervene on the trade. You manually intervene, you miss this whole pump, right? You'd miss this whole fucking thing here. Hey, take profit hit for the long swing, the long trade we had. Right, did it reach? Oh, yeah. No, maybe not. I've only got 94.20. All you have to do is click the long and the short button and not run out of money doing so. Then you can make 100 grand, right? That's the idea. I mean, yeah, you'll pay a lot in commissions, but you know the strategy has a profitable expectancy. And if you're on the 1 minute, I mean, this is a decent bit of gain. Like if I switch this, like let's say you're using percent equity, right? Let's do this responsibly. Okay, let's put in 5 grand. And let's say you're using 3% of your equity per. Oh, that doesn't make sense. 3% of your equity, but at 100 times leverage is 300%. So I guess I can only do 1% of equity because that would be 100% of equity. So you would have produced over $1,000 from November 25th until now on a $5,000 account. That's using 1% of your available margin on PrimeXBT, right? So when I come over here, available margin, that would say 99%. And it would have produced $1,000 if you didn't sleep and you clicked every trade, right? If you never missed a trade, it would have produced $1,000 for you. 20% gain on your stack. But, you know, you have to sleep and stuff, so you probably are only going to catch half of the trades. But it does work. I mean, I guess I can just do this monkey, right? I can go 3, and then I'll just increase the balance to 500 grand. Because my effective margin's 500 Gs. Right? Because 100 times leverage on $5,000 is 500 grand of available margin. So yeah, I mean, it would have given, if you had a $5,000 account and you used 3% of your equity in each trade, you would have made over $3,000 if, you know, you didn't sleep and you didn't have to eat or anything like that. But let's assume you only catch half the trades, so you can cut that in half. And who knows, you could catch the good half of the trades, you could catch the bad half of the trades. But in the end, it's all going to even out. Over thousands of positions, it'll even out. Yeah, Tom, you do. That's why I'm telling people you need to be, you know, you need to expect to have drawdown. With a trend following strategy, 30-40% drawdown is just normal. Okay. You know, if you're using the Rocket Scalper Plus strategy, your drawdowns are going to be a little lower. You might get like 15%, 20% drawdowns. But if you're trend following, you're going to hit 30-40%, like guaranteed. Especially with this level of equity, right? $800 max drawdown against a $5,000 balance is a lot. I mean, it's not quite 20%, but I'm sure there are times where the strategy is even worse. But we've had a pretty choppy, stale market recently, so the fact that the strategy is able to perform in such a quiet market right now, if it ever gets better, you know, market gets more volatile and stuff, you can see the strategy just makes exponential gains here, like this. I still think the smarter play is to use fixed contract, and I think you should use one contract per $1,500 you have tradable. I feel like you're gonna get the best bang for your buck that way. But hey, it's totally up to you. Yeah, see, look. Don't fade trend with the scalper. Just look. Hang on. Actually, I can just link it. There's plenty of people that made indicators for the alerts. I'll just link mine. I don't mind. And this is probably easier. Let me just do the source code because I don't know how to find it anymore. One contract on Prime is 1.00 lots. Yep. You don't have to recalculate anything. You can just put one. I just didn't favorite the script or anything, so I don't want to go back and look at it. So all I do is copy and paste the source code. It's not my indicator. It's still long though. It's going to be a pretty big win for the strategy. Right. It's a sizable win here. But when you have price action that moves like this, and it's not like just dead like this is chop. Right? Strategy gets destroyed in this. It gets destroyed up here. It gets destroyed down here. Whenever you're entering like sideways markets like this, you kind of want to avoid using it. Or you can just use it anyways and just deal with the drawdown. It's completely up to you. Correct, Stu. You need 50% off. If you don't have 50% off, don't use it. You'll just lose money. Unless you happen to use it at the right time and you only ever catch the big moves. But if you ever enter a choppy drawdown period, you're going to get destroyed by commissions. I mean, it's not hard though. Just trade the euro dollar or something. Like, 100,000 lots each way. You only need like $1,000 account to do it. You'll probably lose like 60, 70 bucks. But like, that's it. And you can just trade that way. And then you'll get to 600 Bitcoin in like an hour. And then from there, using this strategy, you're going to take probably 1,200 to 1,500 trades per month, anyways. So if you're trading one contract on Prime, and you're taking 1,000 to 1,500 trades a month with this strategy, I mean, you're going to do double your required volume to maintain 50% off. So I guess if you don't care about the extra drawdown, you can just do it anyways, and then you'll reach the discount in about 2 weeks. But I think I think it's more prudent to just blow through it with forex pairs, and then just use the strategy from there once you hit 50% off. It'd be cool if Bitcoin would pull back so we can get into a short. I'd like to at least take a couple trades with this on the stream. It's gonna go soon. Yeah, I'm about to mute Tom. Sorry, Tom. Maybe next time. He's driving, so he can't do push to talk. It's not his fault. Okay, it just got short. So see it closed that long. Made a little bit of money. Yeah, right when I got the view, I got it. See what I mean about the rubber band effect? Look, you guys can see this on stream. See? So I could, most of the time I could technically wait, and I can get a better entry. Just due to the rubber banding that you get on Binance and Prime. So you can exploit that and take advantage of it instead of shorting the bottom like this. But I found it doesn't tend to make a difference. It's hard to predict when it's going to rubber band and when it's not. I use significant trades for that. If I start seeing a green candle and a couple buys coming in on the significant trades website, I will just wait for the rubber band and then I'll get back in then. Or I'll get in then instead of down at the alert. Just because it's like, you know, if you can squeeze an extra couple bucks out of the market, why not? But again, remember, this thing only wins 37% of the trades it takes. So you have to assume the majority of the trades are going to be losers. What do you mean, JC? We're following the strategy. And it made us short the bottom. But you know what? That's okay. Look, 37% of the time, shorting the bottom and longing the top actually works. So that's right. You can make a career off of shorting the bottom and longing the top. Yes, you can. I mean, look, you just need to acknowledge what the strategy is that you're trading, right? If you're using the scalper, you're fading trends, right? Which means you're trying to catch reversals. If you're trading this strategy, or you're trading the trend break strategy that I have published, you're basically longing and shorting breakouts, hoping for continuation. And that's why the win rates are just so drastically different. Any sort of trend following strategy, you're always going to have like a 30-40% win rate, or lower even. I've seen some that win like 10% of their trades, but when they win really big. And that's kind of the idea with this one. Is every now and then it catches massive winners, like this short here. Like it caught the short earlier, yesterday, and it caught the long. And there's no reason to not get in these. And this is what makes up for the chop here, right? Chop around, lose money, dump, make a fuck ton of money. Chop around here, pump, get in it, make a fuck ton of money. That's in a nutshell the strategy. It takes advantage of the big moves. So if the market is quiet, you're going to have a bad time. But it's not a boring way to trade because you're constantly clicking, right? It can get boring. You might want to have like some music or Netflix or something, or some games or whatever while you're trading it. But if you want something that can help build a stack fast, on a somewhat consistent basis, right? If you're risking too much, you're going to hit a drawdown period and go broke. But in my opinion, anything that can do 20% on an account in 10 days in a safe manner is going to be a strategy worth exercising. Especially because lately on Bitcoin, all we're getting are these shitty pumps and dumps. PM, you can't really do it like that. If you use an ATR filter, you all know what happens. Right? You use an ATR filter, guess what happens? You missed this short here, because look, we went perfectly flat, right? You would have missed this short, and you would have missed all that money. Same thing here, you probably would have missed the pump. Because the strategy is basically taking advantage of breakouts after consolidation. So if you're using volatility to filter out signals, all you're going to do is filter out the big breaks, right? That's all you're going to do. So it's not really... I wish that there was a way to filter it, but it doesn't work because all it takes is one missed trade. I guess that's kind of the same with every trend following strategy. Is that if you miss one, you get fucked. Now with the Rocket Scalper, like the Scalper Plus, you should use ATR to filter that. Like if it's under like 6 or 7 on the 3-minute, you probably don't want to be trading. If we can manage to double top, I'm gonna short this. 745 to 7470. Let's short this. Yeah, I like that. I would short that. We're all the way back down to this impulse. We've got a VPVR block up here as well at 7360. And we've got support, obviously, down at 7220, 7230. So I'm going to post this, because if we get here, if this is going to be a short we take for this. I mean, Tom, it's not that... Look, you don't even have to switch, Tom. You can keep trading the one... Right, you can keep trading this even when the market is, like, kind of dead, so you don't miss moves. But if then the market is going sideways, you can just take these at the same time. You can use the rocket scalper on the 3-minute at the same time. Because on Prime, you can have multiple positions and orders running. Right, you can hedge both ways. It's very convenient like that. Because I do that. I'll trade both of these. If we establish a range, like let's say we come down to 7290 or 7300, and then we go back up, we'll have established a range, and I'll start using the scalper on the 3-minute. Yeah, they are. They're both profitable, Tom. It's just a matter of clicking the buttons, you know, with perfect discipline. Right? You can't get shaken out. You can't use it. Even if you think, even if you know, like, oh man, Bitcoin's definitely going to move, you know, to this level right now. Even if you know that, and even if it does move there, it doesn't matter. You still have to trade the strategy. Because the one time you're certain it's going to do something, and then it doesn't, and you missed a huge trade, you're going to be hurting. It sucks. Like, if you're going to sit down and trade the strategy, sit down and trade the strategy. Oh, I don't mind them, and I don't get a good representation of price. I mean, they're good for determining trends. Like, I will switch over them every now and then. Like, I'll go like the 10-minute or the 7-minute for Heiken Ashi, and I'll just kind of, you know, I mean, you're gonna get a lot of smoothing on the scalper with it too, so you get some better signals with the scalper. Um, but otherwise, I just don't seem to get, at least in this market, because we have so many pumps and dumps. I don't get a good representation of how price is reacting to a level on Heiken Ashi. Right? I can't really tell whether or not it's rejecting a level or about to go through it, because when you get a big candle on Heiken Ashi, the body is not representative of the wick, so it creates a lot of inconsistency for me. But that's just personal preference, right? It's everybody has their thing. I mean, Heiken Ashi just isn't something I like. I know Dieslar likes Heiken Ashi. I know Ryan trades Heiken Ashi really well. It's honestly, I mean, it's all the same. It's just a different representation of price. How you want to take it is completely up to you. It's just not something that I'm particularly good at, I think. Hey, look, we shorted the bottom and we're in profit. For now. I mean, there's no right and wrong way to make money, guys. If what you do makes money, it doesn't really matter. Just keep doing it. Right? Making money trading is supposed to be boring. When you have a working strategy, um, you know, it might be exciting at first, or it'll be frustrating if you hit drawdown because you'll wonder if it's working or not. But when you trade the same method for like a year or more, man, it's gonna get boring. Making money is boring. Just because you're not doing different things. Unless you're like a fully discretionary trader, right? If you don't have any sort of a mechanical system that you follow, and you're somebody who's looking for patterns and looking at certain SR levels, and you don't really have setups that you trade per se, and you just kind of go with your gut on what you see in the chart all the time, you know, trading is more fun that way. You have some longevity that way. But if you're trading a mechanical system that works, you're going to get bored. Hey, welcome back, Evil Gemini. When I'm done with this stream, YouTube will archive it and upload it, and then you can start over from scratch and you can watch it. Lucas, if we go to that level before we go to a double top, yeah, I would agree with that. Like, if we go down there right now, I would agree with that. I think 73.40, 73.45 looks pretty good for a long, if you want to ride that out to a double top. Let's see, this is an issue here. See how Binance, this is that typical Binance rubber banding bullshit, where it comes back, but then it's not reflected in the price on Bybit. That's why, I mean, you're not using this, you're only using it for the signals, because they tend to be accurate, even though you're taking signals from a Bybit chart on Binance. Like, price is the same regardless. Like, price action is the same. So it ends up being fine, in my opinion. Binance just has a habit of being stupid like this sometimes. So, like, if it flips over, I'll just wait for it to come down on a rubber band. Oh, Lucas, I don't think oil hit my levels, man. No, it didn't hit 59.20, so I didn't short it. It's OPEC stuff, man. Especially with the Saudi Aramco IPO coming around the corner. It's just dangerous. What would be super unfortunate is if, while I'm doing this video with the strategy with you guys, is if price action just decides to completely die off for hours and hours. That would be unfortunate. What am I expecting to happen on Bitcoin? I think it's going to grind down a bit, and then it's going to go to a double top, and then it's going to dump, like, I don't know, hours from now, like daily close or something. I think it's going to grind back up to 74.60, and then it's going to dump down to the 72.30, 72.50 area, for sure. That's what I think's going to happen. The power of editing. Yeah. But hey, if this trade's a loser, it's fine. Just get in the next one. Yeah, we got short, JC. I mean, you guys can set this up and just take them with me. You don't need to wait to like follow along with me, because the stream's gonna be delayed anyways. Yeah, on the short breakout, we shorted that. Yeah, it's underwater, as you can tell. I don't like how the volatility is dying, because then it means the strategy is going to get whipsawed a lot. It's like right now, like the Bybit chart's barely moving, but Binance has got a nice little pump going on. Wait, 2.8 profit factor. What strategy is that, Hyde? Is that this one? You just are looking at other parameters. The default trading view pivot indicator. Yeah, this thing's gonna print a long again soon. It'll break this high and it'll print long. This will be a nasty loss because it basically made me short the bottom. I mean, you can mess with other settings, but I haven't found one that works better. I mean, default is foreign, but it ends up being too much whipsaw. Alright, obviously, the higher the bar length, the more chop, or I guess the more time between trades you're going to get. So it turns it like into swing trading and it gets messy. I like 5 and 3 though. It's worked well for me. I don't see reason to change it. Nope, PM, it prints the current candle. It prints the current candle the minute that it breaks that pivot level, right? So it printed this as soon as this got broken. Right, it printed. And it filled itself based on a little bit of slippage too, which is nice. You know, and if you don't have a $1,500 account, you just need to adjust it accordingly. If you have $1,000, you want to be going like 0.66 lots. Otherwise, you're just way too much risk. Yeah, because the Binance chart has too many wicks and too much rubber banding, so it prints like 3 times as many signals. So a lot of those signals end up being false, and they completely fuck with the profitability. I mean, the BitMEX chart would work okay as well, but I've just like the amount of wicks and fuckery that goes on the BitMEX chart. It just creates some inconsistency that I don't like to deal with. That doesn't exist on Bybit. So I mean, it's in terms of signals printed, the Bybit chart does a good job. And it's worked well for me for the last week and a half. Just looks to me like Bitcoin volume is dead right now. It might stay that way too for a while. I mean, funding just happens. I'm surprised we aren't moving at least a little bit. I'd say the one issue with this strategy is like needing to get up to go get food or go to the bathroom, something like that. So I do think it's best to like trade it in waves, if you will. Like put in 2 or 3 hours, then stop. Then put in 2 or 3 hours, then stop. Or just don't get up until I guess don't get up until you get a winning trade. If you get a winning trade, then you can stop and then you can get up. That's how I've been doing it at least. Which one of you guys killed the volatility though? Seriously, it's like a meme at this point, right? I come online, I do a stream, volatility dies. It's retarded. It's like the complete opposite when Until comes on, right? Until comes on stream or something like that, and Bitcoin moves like $1,000. It's stupid. It's like reverse luck. Monkey, I wish that that wasn't the case. You know I do. I wish it were different. I just flipped it long. Kind of a nasty trade there. What's nice is that risk is kind of built into the system, right? Because it's always in the market, long or short. So whenever it flips, it's going to be based on where price action is at. Now, if Bitcoin is right, has like some insane volatility value, um, let's say every single 1 minute candle is like $60 or something. That would be a bit insane. Like the drawdown would get severe. But if Bitcoin has that many, if the candles are that large on the 1 minute, odds are the volatility is pretty big, which means you're going to have some nice trends, which means you're going to have some big winners. So that's again why I advocate for just fixed contract sizing. I don't think you should do it based on percent of equity at all. I feel like this is the smarter way to do it. Yeah, I'm still streaming. Alright, so you made us short the bottom, then it came up and it made us short the breakout. You can almost see the level where it made us go long. Alright, so it broke this. This was obviously the pivot level. Once it broke that, it fired along. So once I heard the noise, I just clicked buy. I'm gonna run upstairs real quick though. I'll be back. I don't expect this thing to dump through the floor on me and flip short. If that happens, I'll be a bit upset, but it's all good. I'll just turn up the volume so I can hear the alert and get back here. Okay, everybody, I'm back. 1.7 trillion palm tree? Get the fuck out of here. No fucking way. What's Apple's valuation? Isn't Apple valued at like 1.6 or something? Short again already, alright. Hopefully this doesn't turn into one of those super tight consolidations where it loses like 12 trades in a row, because that would hurt quite a bit. You know, I think Wally and I were expecting that Saudi Aramco would be valued like somewhere around 1.2, 1.3 trillion, but 1.7 is insane. Goldman Sachs must be so happy. I'm sure Jim Cramer's just licking his fucking chops, man. Well, after the previous IPOs consisted of Peloton, Lyft, Uber, and Beyond Meat, I'm going to say that anything at this point is going to be a better, good. And then the WeWork fiasco, don't forget about that. Thing is, they're growing so much, and yet they have no way to sustain themselves in terms of revenue and profits. It's a bit baffling. This is quite a shitty range on Bitcoin. $25, it's not enough. I mean, it has to break soon. This can't keep up. Oh, Lolly, you missed it. Guess what Saudi Aramco's valuation was put at? Nope, 1.7. Yep, $1.7 trillion. I don't know. That seems like a company you don't want to short, right? Once they go public, seems like something you don't want to short. See, Saudi Aramco is great because they control I mean, basically, they control the price of their own product, which is a global commodity. You know, arguably an industrial necessity, right? It would be like having a company that owns, I don't know, all of the water supply for like the northeastern United States or something, and then shorting that company. Like, they can influence the price of the futures and stuff to whatever the fuck they want. Right? If OPEC wants the price of oil to be $65 a barrel, they can do that. It doesn't faze them at all. Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's a good example. It's insane, man. Like, imagine if Apple products were like a fucking necessity, right? Imagine if you like couldn't get by in day-to-day life without owning an Apple product. That's what it's like. Truly insane. Yeah, I mean, it's not a Peloton. It's not a Beyond Meat. Like for once, the valuation isn't completely speculative, right? At least it's based on something. At least there's something like substantive and concrete that you can actually value the company on. Yeah, I agree. It's gonna solve the Fed's problem with liquidity. I granted like repo market liquidity is different from like actual equity market liquidity, but the two are related enough to where you can see how it makes a difference on like the index charts. You can see when there's a liquidity crisis how everything just kind of like it just starts grinding. It's such a small trend, and then the volume is so low that like hedge funds and banks can't really get filled on their orders because there's no one there to sell. I mean, you need to have someone has to sell in order for you to be able to buy, of course. But if there's nobody getting in and out of their shares, right? If everyone's like, oh, I'm just gonna weight my portfolio, to match the, I don't know, so name your index fund, right? And then they just buy, and then they just hold, and there's no new companies for them to get into. There's no reason for them to leave their current holdings. Like banks can't get in and out. If they can't get in and out, what do? Then they can't hedge risks. Then they have to over leverage themselves on the VIX and over leverage themselves on futures and everything else, and it creates a whole slew of problems. Like you need a reason for people to enter and exit positions, and if the name of the game is just to, structure your portfolio like an index ETF and just hold it forever, banks are going to suffer. So yeah, I agree. I think this is going to churn the market up quite a bit, which is going to be good for investors overall. Plus, it gives us an alternative. Finally an industrials company that has a proper valuation. Because like Boeing is fucked now. So what do you invest in? You can't invest in steel; you'll get destroyed. Can't invest in agriculture; you'll get destroyed. There's really not a good alternative, but now there is. Oil's the largest and most liquid commodity in the world, so it should be okay. Alright guys, look at this price action. Look, you had lots of volume and movement, and now it's just dead. Flat candles, completely dead. This is gonna turn out to be the absolute worst fucking time to stream this. The irony is great. You know, we need until 1 mil to get in here and rescue us from the flat candles. I guarantee the strategy is going to flip long in a second here, and then once it flips me long, price is just going to go right back down. Because all it's going to do is grab liquidity, like over this high, and then it'll flip me long, and then it'll go back down. It'll be pretty stupid. It's pretty sad when the market makers have to hunt liquidity over 1 minute pivot points because the market's so dead. Here we go. It's about to flip, I can tell. Can't wait. Can't wait, guys. Shorted the bottom again. I longed at the top once, and I've shorted the bottom twice now. Price doesn't want to break. It keeps hovering in this $10, $15 range. That took an hour? Yeah, so you're also high as fuck. Yeah, exactly.
It was rough.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. Alright, guys, I'm gonna cut the stream off. We're just gonna hang out on voice. I'm gonna have to record this another time when there's more price action. This is just stupid right now. But we can, you guys all have the indicators and stuff, so there's no reason you can't just watch the chart with me. But this is just, it's just not, it's not gonna be very, like, educational. It's not gonna show you much because the chart just isn't really moving. You know, we'll get chopped up probably into 5 or 6 trades in the next, like, 2 hours at this rate. It's just too slow. So I'll cut the stream off and we'll just be on voice.